So to continue on the Crohn's, those lesions again, they could go all the way through the intestinal wall. So basically, a hole in our intestinal wall, and that leads to a condition called a fistula. Fistula. A fistula is an abnormal passage from one internal organ to a body surface or to another internal organ. So imagine having lesions so severe in your, let's say, jejunum, in your small intestine, and that butts up against your kidney. So that those lesions are so severe that it eats away at that um, mucosa, goes all the way through that surface, and then heads into your kidney. So that fistula is abnormal passage from one internal organ to another or to a body surface like your skin. Okay. So if you were asked on a test, hello, clue, um, what is the main difference between Crohn's and ulcerative colitis? The main difference would be that Crohn's can pop up anywhere along your GI tract, where ulcerative colitis is located only in the colon or the large intestine. Okay, when we're looking at MNT for both of these conditions, they might need tube feeding or TPN. So tube feeding is being fed via a tube, either inserted into the nose and then threaded through to the stomach or to the small intestine, or in some severe cases, a surgical placement of a tube may be necessary. TPN is total parenteral nutrition, and that is being fed via a vein. And this TPN is used when someone's GI tract is not functioning. So it very well could be that we need this person's GI tract to rest so that those cells can rebuild. So we feed them through their vein and not through their gut. Anytime we can feed someone through their gut, that is the preferred route. But as you can see in this instance, you might need the TPN. If they're eating orally, then we would recommend high protein, high calories, and then limit fat and fiber. Um, and then we'll see the same thing with Crohn's or with ulcerative colitis. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to talk about in today's videos is diverticulitis or diverticular disease. So those of you in my med term, give me a shout. Osis, remember that means the condition of having something. Itis, that means the inflammation of something. So diverticular disease, someone can have either of these. A lot of us are cruising around life with diverticulosis. That's these out pockets or bulges in our intestinal walls that have become weakened, oftentimes from a low fiber or poor diet or not enough exercise or being overweight, a typical Western diet. Many of us are cruising around life with those and we don't even know it. We won't know it until we either have a colonoscopy or we get an inflammation of those pockets called diverticulitis. Okay, very painful. And we'll look at a picture of that here. Diverticular disease. Here is the condition of those out pockets. Okay, right? So these pouches here, and you could see if someone's eating a low fiber diet, well, then that GI material is just going to be sitting longer in these pouches or in this GI tract and increase the likelihood that something could get caught up in that pouch. When it does happen, like nuts or seeds or skins of fruits or vegetables, we can get a real nasty inflammation here. So it becomes infected. The person can be in a lot of pain, running a high fever, and oftentimes they'll need antibiotics. If you really want to get under my skin, you are going to mix these two up. For some reason, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. No, diverticulosis, that's just the condition of having these weakened out pockets. The itis is the inflammation, okay? So for diverticulosis, we want our clients to have a high fiber, high fluid diet all the time, okay? That's going to move things through their GI tract quicker. It's going to lessen the amount of time that those things are sitting up next to the GI wall.